2, 1, 0. All engine running.
Off the limit. It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Columbia, this is Houston, AOS, over.
Houston, Columbia on the high gate, over.
Roger, the EVA is progressing beautifully. They're setting up the flag now. I guess you're about the only person around that doesn't have TV coverage of the scene.
That's all right, I don't mind a bit.
They've got the flag up now. You can see the stars and stripes on the Lincoln.
Are you getting a TV picture now, Houston?
Neil, yes, we are getting a TV picture. You're in our field of view now.
I'd like to evaluate the various paces that a person can traveling on the Earth's surface. You do have to be rather careful to keep track of where your center of mass is. Sometimes it takes about 2 or 3 paces to make sure that you've got your feet underneath you.
Check 1 2. Okay, I think I can hear myself. What's up, everybody? Those 2 plus me makes 3. Big Lou is in his house. Anyways, we're gonna continue on what we were doing yesterday with editing. So a little more video editing. It's not gonna be long, promise you. It's just gonna be some tips, and then I'm gonna move forward. But I was editing my video, not the one that we were all working on. I was actually doing mine. And came across some things and I was like, oh crap, I needed to add those in there because they're actually kind of important. So, you ready for that? I'm going to hit the timer. I'm going to start here in 5 minutes. Bing, bang, boom. 7 o'clock, you guys ain't going nowhere unless you're essential personnel. Your ass is sitting at home. What a better time to watch a stupid show on video editing from the Drone Hangar. Anyways, Be back in 5. Oh, by the way, those who are listening, and if you are watching this at a later time, make sure you submit your videos so we can go ahead and update this video too.
So you think you could tell heaven from hell, blue skies from pain? Can you tell a dream field from a cold steel rail, a smile from a veil? Do you think you can tell? Did they get you to trade your heroes for gold? Hot ash trees, hot air from a cool breeze, cold comfort change. Did you exchange a walk-on part in the wall for a lead role in a cage?
What up, everybody? Why is everything so damn quiet? Why is it quiet? That's definitely not working. Hold on. It's a little louder. There we go. Let's try it again. What up, everybody? Welcome to Drone Hangar. A little special. Part 2. This little series on video editing. It's going to be short. It's going to be kind of quick. But if you watch the first one, maybe you got something out of it. So, showing you how I do my edits. Figured to give back to the community somehow. In this time, we're all sitting at home doing jack squat. Speaking on that, hold on. Marty is here. Marty, you there? I can't hear you in the microphone. Let's just put your mic on. It's right there. No, but we were talking about what we were talking about earlier. The virus. Give our people who watch us a little update. Some people actually do follow us. They really do.
What's new with the virus?
I don't know. What's new? Remember we talked about when I got here. So.
Well, the shelves are getting bare.
Yeah.
And nobody's working to put stuff back on it.
So you went to the Walmart and what happened?
Well, no, I didn't go to that one. I went to Lowe's Food.
Lowe's Food.
And yeah, I mean, all the stuff that we like to have wasn't there. It was gone.
Everything was just, you said the TP aisle was completely barren?
Well, yeah, I didn't need it, but that aisle was just...
You were laughing because you're like, those guys
you
are
look
screwed.
at it and you go, nah, ain't nothing there.
Hold on, get you right here.
We had to buy, like, designer food.
Look, there's Marty. Even though we're doing a video editing thing. But we're going to just chit-chat for a minute. Go ahead.
So we had to buy designer food that we normally wouldn't take, like top dollar for.
Right, top dollar Kobe beef for burgers.
Yeah, 1 pound burger. It was a lot of it, but it was like, $10, $12 for a pack this big.
And because everything else is out, just your regular
everybody
beef.
bought everything else out. We bought sausage that we normally don't buy, bacon we normally don't, a brand that we don't buy because our favorite's gone.
Which is just the normal.
Yeah, and potato chips.
Like Oscar Mayer and all that shit.
Your favorite potato chips are gone.
What did I say the other week?
Designer names.
I'm gonna tell everybody. Told you all last week, and Marty's, I guess, prepared somewhat. Which was get 2 weeks worth of provisions. I told my kids that. I told everybody around me to be on the heads up because it's going to happen. That's in this crisis. It's not. It's not water, electricity. It's none of that stuff. Yeah, it's going to be food. The food chain is going to have the hiccup, and you got to watch that.
Yeah, the cashiers were there, but nobody was stocking. And I mean, I don't know, 6 years I've been going to the store. 8 years.
Right.
There's always the same dude on this one, cooler area, always stocking. He was first time I'd ever seen him there. The meat market guy's always doing something. He wasn't there. It's like, what do they do? Tell these people to stay at home? Go back to work and stock some shelves.
Well, you got to have a testing process. You got to make sure they're not sick. I mean, we don't want to keep spreading around the virus. But speaking of the virus. That led us into that. Go ahead. I hear you sighing. Say what you want.
Yeah.
Say it. Speak your mind, man. This is your show.
I think it's
your platform.
I think it's early. It's not. Nothing's gonna. And what is this about? Easter.
What about Easter?
I just read that the president's gonna open up the country for Easter.
Okay. Well, you got to take Trump as Trump is. Like sometimes he flies off the cuff. He's very overconfident at times. He's extremely optimistic individual, and he's obviously not cut from the cloth of the regular institute of government, so he kind of flies off the handle a little bit. So I mean, I think that's a optimistic again look on reality. Could but that's, I mean, you have to get it back to work. You got to get back to work. I mean, it will collapse. It will. I mean, doesn't work, we don't go to work. Common Joe, we're going to go shit belly up, man.
Yeah. And what's going on with this stimulus package, man? I was like, checks in the mail. No.
Yeah. Well, you got there's where the draining of the swamp, or whatever you want to call it, or the change, or the revolution, or whatever the hell you want to call it, needs to happen, because You got both sides using this opportunity that is going on. And listen to what I just said. Opportunity. That's the way they look at it. They look at it as, even when it's shitty, it's an opportunity for whether it's the Democrats or the Republicans on the, say this, for instance, the stimulus package, to pork belly it or stuff it full of shit, while everybody else is panicking around the country, meaning all of us, common Joes and Joettes, running around, freaking out, not really paying attention to all that. They're worried about the virus. Meanwhile, these fuckers are running around and trying to slip shit in on a stimulus package for the economy, which is nonsense. There's a list. You can go find out what it is.
$35 million to the Kennedy Center.
Yeah, to the Kennedy Center. Give me a fucking break. We don't need to be talking about it.
Shut the doors, lock it.
Go away. We don't need to talk about all that.
Home.
Yeah.
If they want to go to the Kennedy Honors, they just watch it on YouTube.
I hope everybody, because of the power of the internet and social media these days, I hope we string those fuckers up. We hope we vote them all out of office. The motherfuckers, seriously, this is not the time where you start all this nonsense. What did California, Nancy Pelosi wanted to add some shit to it? Make sure all the airlines are following the carbon emissions thing or whatever it is. They want to increase it in by 2050, and then I think it had to do with student loans, all this other shit that they want to have. They're trying to slide in right now. I'm like, that's not the time.
They call it pork barrel.
Not the time. Yeah. This isn't the time for that. Don't do that nonsense. Go and debate that at a later date when we're all fine and we're not all freaking out about this stupid virus. Which, on the other side note, which is, if you haven't heard, hydrochloroquine mixed with azithromycin is what they're finding, which is going to help you from potentially dying if you get it, if you are one of those risk categories, and will literally cut the time in recovery. I think they said down to 5 days. Their testing is showing some as quick as 2, and that's great news. That's the positive. That's the huge thing you need to be looking for. You need to be talking to everybody and saying, have you heard about this? And get the word out so people know that this is actually, they've tested this shit quickly. I think France did it first, and then can't remember else. Sorry, bear with me. Some people in Kansas did it, and damn it, I can't remember if New York was yet. But either way, that's huge news. That's good news. It's not a here's a shot and you're immune. It's that if you get it, the chances of dying are even less. And because there's medicine in it. This medicine was actually used for malaria, and then also for H1N1. So it's coronavirus, a form of, and no shit, it works. It's working. It's better than nothing. Let's go with that. And they're seeing huge results. The tests they've been going through. So I think that's really good news.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird that we do a drone show and we're finally talking about, well, not finally. I don't care about talking about politics, but
real deal stuff.
That's what we're doing. We're talking about politics.
Well, we're talking about the real deal. I mean, it's what's going on. We're common Joes, right?
Yeah.
We're blue collar workers. We're the average, everyday, white, fucking blue collar working people right here. At least us two. I mean, everybody else that's on the show may not be, but we are.
That's going to be some crazy stuff next week. I know some local small businesses. They were, it was a company called Nat's Catch. It was a seafood house.
Yeah.
Fresh seafood as well as a restaurant. And they've been growing for like 11 years. And they were on for like 10 minutes just bawling and crying and upset because they really think they think a lot about their employees. And they decided to shut down and lock the doors and take care of their employees the best they could, but they're really freaked out about the whole thing. That a lot of these businesses, they live from week to week, and some maybe month to month. But there's a lot of talk right now about around here. People saying I know there's one person that said he got 2 good jobs the day before he lost 2 really good jobs. So.
There goes Marty.
I think it's going to get worse before it gets better next week.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're already going into the worst. It's not like it's we're in some happy land right now. We're not. But what you got to do is you do have to have a level of optimism. Yeah, like the president does. I mean, sometimes he's over-optimistic and over-speaks, and, that's just how they all are. But that's how I personally am. I try to be optimistic because it's so easy to just give into the negative.
And I saw some hate discussion today about who's qualified to go back to work and who should stay home.
Yeah,
so people are starting to judge. You should stay home. You shouldn't open.
Nobody should say shit unless you're in a position of power to do such.
Yeah.
My thing is, if you can look at it like an invisible war, if you can, you could definitely use that analogy. You got a couple fronts you got to watch. You got to watch the medical side of it, the front, the actual virus, and then you got to look at the economical front. There's two fronts we're battling right here. It's not just the virus. Some people get just very narrow-minded and go, virus. You got to stop. The reality of the situation is there's two sides to this battle. There's an eastern front and a western front, if you want to call it, kind of like World War II. You have to have that mindset. You've got to be thinking that way. You cannot just be hyper-focusing on one or the other. You got to be looking at both. I think that's where the president and his crew, they're walking that fine-ass, they're trying to walk a fine line, I think. I got to be optimistic. I got to think positive. If you want to be negative and you want to spout fear and all that shit, then wrong place, because I'm not going to hear it, because that's just not how I roll. That's not how I roll in life when shit goes bad. This isn't the first time shit has hit the fan since I've been walking this planet, and definitely not for Marty. This isn't the first, holy shit moment in our lives. 9/11 comes to mind. That was a holy shit moment that day. We're kind of feeling that a little bit. It's a little slower and more drawn out, but we're definitely feeling it.
Yeah.
We're definitely feeling that same anxiety, that whole negative cloud that's around us right now.
Yeah.
But you got to find the positives, and the positives are there are medicines that are actually starting to reduce and help, and I hope that holds true. I hope they really start pushing it. What were they saying, Ms. Bandito?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to realize that hey, they can do a lot of stuff remotely and on the internet.
Yeah, man. Tell it, what is it called again? They're using it where you're calling a doctor, basically using Skype or whatever.
Yeah.
That's going to be the future, I think. I think that'll definitely be the future. I think that'll free up a ton of space at the hospital. But the problem is, it's there. It's just if the common people, get the information and know that it's easy to use and can do it, and do it instead of running to the damn hospital. Please don't run to the hospital unless you have the symptoms that they say that you should have, which are dry cough, fever is the big thing, over 100 and over, not 99. And actually, I found out the best time to test your temperature, and I used to work in a hospital, is later in the day, actually, like 4 o'clock. So you're doing all that stuff. Anyways, that's about it. So I'm thinking positive. I'm like, okay, there's a little silver lining. If they get a stimulus package out, I don't like that at all. I wish they wouldn't do any, but we need it. It's kind of like we're in dire straits, you know what I mean, Marty? Because that's just adding more to the humongous debt that we already have, and it's just bad. Again, it's a war,
a lot of people.
Sacrifice is going to have to be made.
Yeah, there's a lot of service people out there that live from day to day. With tips and their minimum wage is what, $2 or $3, so they need money, and they're not getting money because the stores are closed, the restaurants are closed, so to speak. So,
well, what we said earlier was that just in this time, and if there are businesses, small businesses around you that like offer food still, and they're doing delivery or whatever, not every state's locked fucking down like Cali. Okay, some of us are not. But support them. That's what you can do as an American. You can go out and do what you can. If it's still your pocketbook, help support the local business. Keep them afloat. Buy a meal during the week, or and then everybody else does the same thing. Kind of will help them out.
I bet a lot of people, since the weather's good here in North Carolina, that they're starting to gardens right this week. Starting to plant gardens.
I see a lot more people out, at least here in North Carolina. Still see a lot of people out walking around.
We have a real nice kids park right up the road, and they got yellow tape all the way around it. So there's nobody on the playground. It's a big playground.
Where at?
Here, I mean, they built like a $150,000 playground for us
Oh, yeah.
over there at the park.
Yep.
And they got that yellow police tape all the way around it, and you can't play on any of this stuff.
Yeah, Big Lou says stimulus packages always cause problems later on down the road, especially with bad government. I agree. They always do. And that's what has always been my speech to everybody about this is I'm not as afraid about the virus that I am about the economic the impact that it's going to cause. That's what I worry about the most.
Does anybody feel like they're holding these checks hostage to get a bigger agenda?
Yes, I am. I'm saying yes for me. Absolutely, that's what's going on. You got the Dems wanting to do what they want, and then the Republicans are wanting to have what they want in that budget, in that package, and they're not going to concede until they're wheeling and dealing. This is not the time to wheel and deal.
Take the scissors and cut it in half, and the stuff they disagree on, put it on the table, and send out the checks.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
I see eye to eye. Just stop the nonsense.
Let it just be for the people and not the corporations.
Right.
And take care of the corporations, but y'all deal with it separate. Cut all the pork out, and
I agree.
And just make it a stimulus for everybody that needs a check only, and no extra add-ons.
Now, there was the other thing we were talking about, because we're going to get out of this. It's going to go over to the other side. I mean, I'm paying attention to this stuff all day long, so I don't do it on the Facebooks and the Instagrams and all that. I read all your guys' nonsense, but I don't always engage in it. And I just kind of read, and I get a feeling for what's going on. I watch the news and various news outlets. Yeah. But we're going to come out of this. And on the other side of this, I hope our country, I don't give a shit if you don't like this response, has better tight restrictions on China. Like, they better get that shit figured out. Like, I don't know what you do if you stop letting them over, period, altogether, meaning no more transit between there and China, because it seems like that's where all this nonsense keeps rolling out of lately. SARS, H1N1, this. Now they're talking about another one. So, I mean, it's just kind of getting ridiculous that then we keep our open border to them or whatever and allow transit. Let's just get rid of the border thing. And it keeps coming over. I don't think that's, I don't know. I don't know what you do. So something that's going to have to be re-examined, because I hate to tell you it, yes, we can wipe ourselves off this planet, but I can promise you Mother Nature can wipe our asses off this planet, and we would have nothing to do with it. We'd have no control. If she ultimately comes out with some massive virus, bad. Think about the plague. That'll scare you. Go look at those numbers. That'll freak you out. That was real shit. Polio, real deal. That was crazy. Nothing. This compared to that is, to me, is, if I was back then and the plague was rolling around, I'd be freaking out. So, I don't know. It needs to be re-examined. The health industry needs to be re-examined. And where we produce all of our gear needs to be re-examined. So we're not going overseas. Produce it here. That we won't have to worry about going overseas and trying to get, like now, China, if you heard this one. China wants to sell us all their overstock from the coronavirus that they went through. Because they're on the done, I guess. They're not getting new cases. So, and it didn't peak as much as they thought it was going to. So they have all this overstock, and they're willing to sell all that PPE to us. That's kind of funny. So, it needs to be re-examined. So there you go. Be positive. Don't get all angry, and just because you're sitting in your house for 2 weeks, it's gonna eventually go away, and we're gonna get back to life and normal. And I just hope the economy is good.
There's a lot of free webinars. Just everybody sitting home that are out.
Innovate. This also breeds innovations, by the way. World War II did it. I think every major conflict has breed innovation in some sort of technology or the medical fields. It just always does. So I think coming out of this, there'll be a lot of new innovations. The world won't be the same. It won't be the same. It will not be what it was prior to coronavirus hitting you locally. The day before that was normal. And going forward, it's never going to be the same. This stuff is going to change for sure. Anyways, there you go. That's our little speech. Be positive. There's stuff coming. I believe in that. It's too easy to be the negative. I'm not going to go there. So we're just trying to be a little breath of fresh air, I guess. Really? although we stink. Well, each state is in phases, says Mrs. Bandito. Texas has tested 11,700 positive cases, so our state has not even peaked, they said. And probably not. And just because it's not peaked, like some mammoth number, you know, I think people are really... The thing is, if you get the virus, you're not... Most likely, you're not going to die. Okay? Most of the time, the bigger picture of the spectrum, the people who are infected have very mild symptoms. Some don't even have any, and they're just carriers. But the bulk of it is the people who come down positive. The bulk of them have more moderate to mild symptoms. They don't have those massive, those critical, life-ending stuff. Okay, so that's the first thing. And everybody's got to get tested. That's how you're gonna really find out. So those are coming. Just be positive. You got anything else, Marty?
I'll think of something. We ain't got nothing else to do.
Nope. We are offering curbside. So Mrs. Bandito has a vape shop. And I've been seeing that too. Curbside. In my industry, because I fix appliances, they, and I'm not going to get into names or anything. They, the companies that we go and get parts for sometimes, when you go to somebody's house and they need a part and we don't have it, they just issued it that they said, we're still in business, but we'll just leave it on the curb. We'll just take it outside. We'll leave it on the curb for him. Okay. I mean, all right. We're getting a little crazy, but there's, you know, people are becoming innovative, and that's what you should do. And I encourage everybody that has a pocketbook and willing to spend, if they're going to still buy, and try to keep it local. Keep those people around you up afloat as best you can. You know, if you need something, get it from them. Try to skip Amazon for right now. You know, Amazon's doing just fine. Okay, but your local stores and restaurants, they're not, and those are the ones that you got to look out for. Those are your neighbors. What'd you have, Marty?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. That's to keep us employed. She said that's to keep us employed and customers not smoking. Good. All right, that's cool. We like that. Let's give an applause for that, right? Give an applause. I'm ready. Can't. Oh, there's John Kennedy. Thinking that I'm on. Supposed to be rocking some Call of Duty. Warzone, whatever it's called. I haven't done that yet. All right, well, there you go. That's all I had. So I'm going to start doing my editing process. We figure we just give you a little heads up. Marty can stick around.
Yeah, I'll listen.
Okay. So moving forward, let's chill the music. And Marty, if you have questions, you can ask. Or if you have something enlightening that you find while we'll just do like we normally do. Usually we look at that while I'm editing. And you usually go like, hey, Mark, look at this. Mark, look at this. Look. That's what you usually do.
Yeah, I'll probably inject something because I've watched you edit 200 videos in the last 4 years.
Yep, that's true. You've definitely sat around and you've helped, man. You're part of the secret sauce. Speaking of which, since we're getting ready to go in the editing part, Marty literally does. If I do an edit, especially I'm here, every time that I'm here and I complete an edit, I usually go over to Marty and say, Marty, check it out. Especially the bigger ones that I really like Colorado vids. And then he'll look at it, and then he'll go, and he'll give me a thumb up or a thumb down, and I'll go back. So it always goes through him before it goes and gets released. More often than not, I should say. Last year was not that many.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I don't edit videos, but I can criticize how people do stuff.
You can critique. Because I critique your shit all the time. You must learn that shit from me.
It's like, what is it, movie critics? They know nothing about making a movie, but they know how to criticize it.
Yeah, they know how to critique it. Well, I mean, they're the end user, right? So they're the audience. So the audience is going to critique your video very well, actually, whether they have a film degree or not. You know, it's going to be appealing to them or it's not. And there'll be some things that'll jump out that are really shitty. And that's what you do. You usually point those out. So that's pretty cool. So if you have someone like that, you have a significant other in your house, run the video by them. Let them check it out. Let them see it before you post it up. Let them be your first test run. Because you might find something in there that you all the hours that you put in your edit, if you put hours into it, and then you get kind of wrapped up like, I'm done. You want to get to that point where you're just like, I'm exhausted. I'm done. I'm finished. Before you do that, let someone watch it real quick to make sure that your timing's good, it transitions well, the basics that we're going over through these videos. And that way, when it gets released, people will enjoy it more. And get more
so did you tell them already what establishes the beginning of a good video?
What do you mean?
Not the clips and not how long or short, but
The music.
the music.
The music is everything. The music is everything.
Because you can save so much time if you pick out the song first.
Yes, correct. You're right. I see what you're getting at. You're talking
Yeah.
about what I do normally.
Because it's like you really edit the whole thing 3 times.
Wish you could move this TV because then I can look at you and talk to you.
Yeah,
Be a little more natural.
You edit 3 times or 2 to 3 times because it's like, oh,
Yeah.
I could have cut out this whole time process.
Yes, correct. And that's what I was mentioning before. Yes, and you weren't listening to it, which is I told them how I listened to that electronic music channel, that I've been listening to for years. And I'm constantly listening to it because I'm trying to find the song. I'm trying to get a song for a future video that it might not even, it's not even in my head yet. So the finding it is harder. And I showed them the process, Marty, of how I copy the link. I find the song. I go to YouTube. I
like
search
that
it.
part.
I find the song, and then I take the song's the web address and I drop it in that free software, where you can just download it.
Yeah.
And then that's how I yank it down. And you can get a copyright slam, but none of my stuff's monetized. So for me, it's just a copyright. Oh, hey, your stuff's got ads on it now. Okay, sounds great. Move along. I haven't had really anything yanked down yet. I think once, right?
You've been in the YouTube doghouse a few times.
Yeah, I think so. A couple times. I have had video songs of like really predominant artists. If you do like something that's really predominant, it will get a copyright slam. I think 2 videos I have that I think about that had actually got taken down because of that. So, but for the most stuff that I use, good to go. So I showed them how to do that.
Yeah, the embed.
I showed them the embed. I showed them how to mark the clip.
Yeah, it's so simple.
Uh-huh.
I mean, why people are like embed?
Bad. Bad. I'm going to make this video bad. Because that's all it is. You want to mark the beats.
Yeah.
Mark the clips.
Yeah.
Blade. That's the M. The B is the blade, and you're cutting, and then you're cutting all those marks.
Yeah.
And then A is your arrow, which is you're going to now highlight the shitty clips that you don't want, and then delete, which is the D, and that's or the backspace or whatever you have on your keyboard, and that's bad. That's the process. It's very, very simple. And I showed them my workflow how I get the clips off the GoPro, the SD card, then I stick them in a file and label the file with the video name, and that way that's the. Now we've gone all the way back to the beginning.
Now you showed them the shortcut about like dropping them on your desktop instead of putting them. What is it? Instead of
put of what?
You know the clips. You put the clips on the desktop. And
then
I it in the timeline instead of grabbing them from the bin.
Well, so what I did, all right. Well, I'm kind of going at it with Marty with teaching them that it's even though I'm using Final Cut Pro, I'm trying to teach them the basics that you can it's universal. Yeah. I'm trying to teach you stuff that's universal, not just to Final Cut Pro. And you're right, binning, having the bins.
There's 50 videos on Final Cut Pro editing, and it's pretty much the same where they're in the bin and then they're,
Yeah, I don't do all that nonsense.
They're in the preview window, and then they get dropped to the timeline. Whereas you were like, simplified it. You're just like, okay, I'm going to take the clip, from the card, wherever you've got it at. And
stick it in a file on the desktop.
Download folders or whatever.
Yeah, put it on the folder, and that's it.
You stick it on the desktop where you can see it.
Yeah, stick it right there. And,
you just stick the whole clip.
Actually, we'll go to the desktop right now.
On the desktop, and you got a whole bunch of these clips on the desktop, and then you just, from there, straight to the timeline, right?
Yeah, actually, I can go ahead and pull this up and show them.
So you don't even use the preview window.
No, I don't.
And
so he's talking about over here on the left.
Yeah, and you don't download all the videos in the bin.
No, so I grab, what I do is I grab the SD card, right, when it's plugged in. Yeah. I don't think I have one plugged in, but I have it says drop files here first. That's what it's supposed to say. And if the SD card was pulled up, it has a window, and I just grab the ones. You know what I do? I go and find the videos that I like, the flights that I like, the recordings I like, and I only drag those over to the drop here first folder, or if it's the name of the video, that's the name of the video folder. And then I go from there, I go over to Final Cut Pro, and I just grab the clip and drop it on my timeline. I don't worry about that bin in it's right above the timeline and the preview and all that nonsense. There's no reason for that. No. There isn't. If you're going to do one of these, at least for me it isn't, my workflow, I try to keep it short and sweet.
Because you're going to embed it.
I'm embed. I already did it. I was doing that earlier. I've already embedded this thing in 10 minutes.
You're going to embed it on the timeline straight to the beat the up tempo beat.
Yeah, so I did over here, Marty. What I did was, and you won't see it, but I did the whole. Remember what I taught you? How the music plays?
Yeah, the audio clip.
The 4/4 time.
Yeah.
And that's what you're hearing now. It's the actual song, and I'm actually playing Final Cut Pro. And you hear it.
Yeah, measures of 8 is what you call it.
Yep.
That's
4
a
and 4
good
is
one.
8.
That's a good one to count too.
Yeah, this is very easy. You can hear the beats. Ready now? Get ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. Change 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. Change. Now, what I was saying, what you're talking about is measures of 8. So what Marty's referring to is it's 4/4 timing, but so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, and then you can keep going. 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4. But when you get to 8, 2, 3, 4, it's gonna change. It's gonna change. The music will change. At least in this electronic music, that's the format that they use. That's literally what they use. That's how they mesh music together at raves. That's the whole 9 yards. That's literally it. That is all it is. Of course, there's mixing the dials and doing all that and changing the fades and all this and fading out and blah blah blah. But the music itself written is in a 4/4 signature. So there you go.
So isn't it a waste of time to use the preview window when you know that you're gonna bring the clip back, shorten the clip back to the change of the beat?
Yeah. So I wanted this leads me to you're not seeing it though in the all clips folder in Final Cut Pro. And actually all your editing software, at least that I've used, and to include my phone, it will put it in a bin or it will put it in this place where all the clips are now that you've dragged on the timeline. They'll sit up in this tray area that you can scrub through. There's a thing that I do that I didn't mention yesterday. I do use this if I don't want to scrub through 40 minutes of video and drop 40 minutes of video onto my timeline. I'll go through here and scrub through, which is just scrolling my arrow across the video clip, and click and start mark and find out where I like it. Oh, I like this clip right here. Okay, let me stop right there and mark it, because you can use that M key again.
Well, you remember the meat of the clip from when you were flying too.
Yeah, correct.
You're like, oh God,
I know exactly where it is. I was like 25 minutes in, and
I gotta remember that's making the video.
Yeah, this is the money shot you'll hear sometimes if you're flying. And then I'll just drag, and then I'll just grab and drag this clip. I'll make this a clip from marker to marker and drop it on my timeline. Boom, and then that's it. Then I don't have to worry about all the rest of it. It's trimming the fat. It's another little shortcut that you can use. But again, I'm not trying to teach you everything.
See,
trying to keep you the basics
work for
of editing.
All YouTube videos. This just really works for flying videos.
Yeah, this
flying
is
drones.
Right. This is for flight footage.
Freestyle flying.
Yeah, right. It applies to a quad, it applies to a wing, fixed wing. What it doesn't apply to necessarily is like if I'm doing a vlog or I'm doing like my old shows.
They take a long time.
That's a lot different. That's a lot of fucking editing.
Those would take like 3 hours.
No, those would take a couple days. Remember, I'd sit in here for days running and editing one episode to get it to release. They were fun and they're great, and I'll probably do them again because I took a whole year off of doing them. They are very different when it comes to editing. So what I'm teaching you is how to edit freestyle footage. Or, you can do this, I guess, with some DJI equipment, I would imagine. Some of your stuff, Marty. But this is just how I do mine. I'm just showing them how I do mine. And it's just tips and tricks. You don't have to literally do it exactly the same way as I do. But it will hopefully aid you in the mechanics of doing it. So what I was teaching them yesterday was the intro. So I showed them,
Oh, okay.
how to put a logo in there and make the logo fade in, fade out. And right here. So this is literally mine right now. And yesterday I was using Team Spectrum's logo, but this is literally my videos. And so I'm putting my logo on here. And you notice that's really, really strong. It just stands out too much. I don't want it. I don't like that. So if you ever notice my videos, I lower it down. I kind of fade it out. And it's called your opacity.
Just the opacity.
Yes, I adjust the opacity over here of just the image. And I have an image right now. This is a PNG file. This is a transparent background logo.
And where do you
keep it
at?
For me.
Where do you store it at?
I store it right here. I actually have it out. I'm glad you actually brought it. Would you come over here and look at my stuff? That's cool.
Yeah,
Dude. You actually knew. So down in the bottom left-hand corner of my screen, if you can see it, actually it's right here. I'll hold it. I have a folder called Shelbyville Logos. So these have my official logos that were designed for me. and I keep them in that folder, and I can just pull them out at any time. Within that folder, my logos, I also have. This is cool. I'll show you. I will get to it in a minute. Hold on. So I dragged my file over here. I dragged my clip. I literally grabbed it out of my file, and I just dropped it on my timeline. I could show you that actually right now with my other one that I need to use, which is my little bug. So I'm going to grab it from the folder and then drop it on top of my timeline because I want it to overlay in all over the whole video. So back to this. I drag and drop that, and then I just change the opacity. I drop it down to whatever it looks good to me, and make sure it's highlighted. Where am I at? 25%, somewhere around there. Doesn't really matter the number, it just matters how it looks. Don't get hung up on numbers. Just how does it look? And then I play it. And I put a cross dissolve. Remember we talked about that yesterday? That's a very basic transition. I use that all the time, Marty. Pretty much. It's pretty much all I've ever used.
So does everybody else.
Yep.
It's, like
it's simple.
one.
Simple one. And then you play it out. And it literally took less than 30 seconds to do.
That's a good song.
And there's your intro. And again, matching it to the beat. Can't quite tell, but I literally was. It's the end of measure 2 before going to beat 1. So naturally, I haven't changed anything yet. That was a big change right there in the music, and that's when your video should change. If you remember yesterday, I mentioned anytime there's a dynamic change in the video, more than likely you should have a dynamic change. Dynamic change in the song. You need to have a dynamic change in the video because the music is leading the emotion for the viewer. So there you go. And let's see. We also mentioned about fading the music in Final Cut Pro. There's a little button right there that you can kind of drag it over. It's a little slider, and it will adjust the volume level, and you can create a fade in, fade out that way. And along with the transition, makes for very pretty. There you go. Let's go back to what we were talking about earlier yesterday, which is how about we're going to do the MBAB. We're going to go back over that real quick. Great clip. This is the clip that I'm going to use. This is the footage, and I just grabbed a rough cut of it. So I like that. From there, it was better. So it looks better right there. Problem I ran into this DVR footage, and that way it might not ever make it to YouTube, is for the simple fact that along this recording, Marty, the DVR like sped up recording. Like it went from recording at a normal 100%, like normal speed, to recording in like double speed. Yeah, I have no idea. I'd tell Rue that something's wrong with his goggles because it was doing that, and some of the footage just might not make it. But anyways, we can still use it as a tutorial.
Was it 60 frames or?
No, not like that. Like it literally looked like someone had hit fast forward on it.
Oh.
And then when I go try to reduce the speed, and which you can do here, and depending on what you have in Final Cut Pro, you can reduce the timing.
Yeah, to fast forward, record.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, it really is. And then I go try to slow it down, right? You figure, well, I just cut it in half, right? Reduce the timing. No, it makes it all choppy because of the frame rate.
Because your frame rate.
Yeah, because my frame rate's down. Yeah, it's 24, I think. So there's why. This is actually a good teaching lesson. There's a reason why there's high frame rates, and yes, you capture a great image, but it's also for slowing down. So if I had actually recorded this image in 120 frames a second, then I could slow it down in half, and it'd still be 60 frames a second, and still be pretty butter smooth. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yep. There you go. Same with 4K. Now you're just looking at instead of the frame rate, you're looking at the screen size. Yep. 4K is just 2 1080s or 4 1080s. Yep. And therefore you can zoom in and still have that 1080 effect if you need to zoom in on a 4K shot.
And sometimes they call it scaling in.
Yeah, scaling in. Correct. Well, we're dynamic here today, man.
Oh,
bring it. We are teaching people shit today.
Oh, we're going to talk about dynamic range, man.
Yeah, dynamic range. We won't get that far. Stay on target. Stay on target.
Yeah, I mean, I actually did a job for a car dealership. It wasn't a direct job. I was getting hired by a guy who had all the ground video cameras.
Oh wait, shit. Hold on. Sorry.
And
the whole time we were talking, we're gonna have to go back and do this. They couldn't see it.
And he got up with me and he said, there was one clip where I was on the side of the highway.
Yeah.
And I was like hovering to get a 4K. It was supposed to have been 4K, I think 60 frames per second. Video clip.
Yeah.
Of the highway exit sign. The big green signs.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
about. And so because I was on the side of the highway.
Yeah. Sorry, Morty.
So the text the text was given the location, the exit location to the dealership. And he texted back and he goes, "Did you shoot that in 4K 60 frames?" And I said, "Yeah, I did." And then, but I'll check. And I went into DJI Go and checked, and it had been converted to 1080p, 30 frames per second. I was like, "Oh my God!" And the reason being was because I couldn't get over the ramp in front of the sign because you're not allowed cars to fly underneath a drone, right? Mm-hmm. And it would have been very noticeable seeing it exiting off a ramp and seeing the drone right there. And
you do it now. There's nobody out.
And he wanted to scale in or zoom in and then capture because he's not really broadcasting 4K. He's just using the 4K to. He broadcasts in 1080p.
Yeah, right. I mean, you.
I was like, and I was like, maybe that's why this guy hasn't called me back for another car. Out of all the stuff that we did, I was like, it was like one clip, right?
You think it's just over that?
And I was like, no, I shot it in 4K, man. And then I went back and looked, and I did a screen grab and sent it to him. I said, "Oh man, I'm sorry. it was 1080p," and I was like, and it's like a rookie mistake, And you're like, because when you're working for people, this guy works in one of those audio video trucks for ESPN.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
This guy's a big deal, right?
So go ahead.
And he was doing this little side job for his dealership, and I was like, "Oh, I screwed up, man. This guy will never hire me again."
And he didn't.
And he hasn't. No.
Nope.
because
he fucked it up.
He had a script. He had a script.
It's got to be right to what he needs.
He had a shot list. I shot all the shot lists. He even told me,
But you shot it wrong. You shot on the wrong resolution.
No, everything else was fine.
Except for that one.
That one clip. And that one clip is important because you're saying, okay, at this dealership, you exit off at this exit. And he wanted this,
yeah, it's his establishing shot.
He wanted this wide shot of the exit.
Oh, well, you live and learn, so got to pay attention to resolution. So, unfortunately, I'm going to backtrack here a little bit from when we were editing because I didn't realize in OBS that we didn't have my desktop shared. So we were just babbling away, and people were wanting them what the hell? So what we were talking about was doing the clips right here, the audio and matching the beats, and we talked about the timing, the 1, 2, 3, 4, and the electronic music has a 4/4 measure signature.
So tell me how you do that.
What?
Desktop share.
What do you mean desktop share?
How did you get that?
What do you mean?
How are you? That's OBS stuff.
Oh yeah, OBS. We're not talking about detail. Yeah,
you don't have to go into detail.
Okay. So we did the whole 4/4, and what I was talking about, we were talking about the markers. These are the markers. The MBAD. The M is the marker.
MBAD, baby.
B
don't forget
is the blade.
MBAD.
A is right here, which is the arrow, and then D is your backspace or your delete.
Those are hotkeys.
Yep, those are your hotkeys. So you want to use these hotkeys. It just makes your life a little bit quicker. Your editing quicker. So it really does help. Then we talked about again. My intro is right here. This is my intro. I've actually matched it to timing. I've cut it in half.
Right.
Cut the this little section right here of 2 measures of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, and then I cut the clip.
So in your preview, when you actually cut all the fat out and you got the sweet little clip, you're still not done.
No. So yeah, and this is what I meant up here. You have a bay of where when you drop all your stuff in your timeline, all your editing software will always put it in a bin where you can kind of scrub through it with your arrow key or your mouse, and that's when you're going in here and you're just kind of you're grabbing the clips that you want. You can do that really fast here. This is another quick tool. If you've got a really long footage and you just want some of the clips, you can do the same marking with the M key as you're scrubbing through it. Just mark where the clip you like, where it starts and where it ends, and then you can go and grab it, highlight it, and drag it and drop it on your timeline. There you go. So it's kind of skipping, trimming the fat a little bit.
That's how the YouTube tutorials do it.
Yeah, but you can also just throw it on your timeline.
Right.
You can literally just throw that damn whole 40-minute on your timeline and just scrub through this way as well and make your marks, which is what technically I did in the first video. And right here earlier today, I did it this way where I marked the footy in the Bay Area. But either way is fine. If to make it simplistic, just drop it on your timeline. Let's do it that way.
But
always do your audio first, meaning
Right.
get a video clip
Right.
in there so you can establish your timeline, but then get that audio clip in there and immediately start marking the beats
Because-
however your music plays.
Because the in and out on that clip is going to be on those blue dots.
Yeah, and the in and out needs to be going in and out. The change of clips needs to be going in and out with the dynamic changes in the audio of the music. Does that make sense? So when you have to do it that way. Otherwise, it just doesn't flow. It doesn't create a good video in my eyes. So, and
the number one rules,
one of the many.
don't let your clip go more than 8 seconds.
Well,
Any clip,
Well,
unless it's a great composition of information, is one thing. But if it's
I guess that's
pretty
schools
much
of thought.
The same thing.
That's schools of thought. I
yeah,
think.
you-
I think that's
you
like
want an
schools of
average of 2 to 4 seconds.
thought. No, I won't say that at all because that's not with freestyle footage. I don't think that's.
Well, it
I
depends
think it's.
Depends on the content.
Yeah, I really think what you're stating is more on content related, and for freestyle footage, I would have to totally disagree because some footage is not going to be that, and the music's going to dictate that because you cannot be just if you make them too choppy. So a lot of people don't like it real choppy, but again, we're teaching people how I do my video edits, and that's what I'll really want you to grasp out of that is some pointers and some tips. So. The intro is real easy. You can do it real. We put 2 cross dissolves on there, one in the beginning and one at the end of my image. And literally all I did was I grabbed it, my Shelby Vol logos, which is right here. It has all my logos, the ones that were made for me. I just grab them and I drag them and I drop them down like so into my timeline. And if I don't want it there, which means this will overlay over all of my video, I can put it over here and literally throw it in my timeline. Here, come here. And just stick it in there if I wanted to do that. And there you go. Now you have like such, but I don't need that. Nor do I need it, period. And it's really quick, but it makes a very good intro. And you make sure your music's fading in, fading out, if that's what you want. But this is how I do it. So I make sure the music's fading in, and then it ends, it fades out, and make sure my intro clip fades in as well with the music. I always try to do my clip changing from the dissolve into the music. Nice. So already that clip's too long, so I need to find more of the clip that's better, more dynamic. What do I like? So I'm just scrubbing. I'm finding out exactly what I like in this clip that's also going to be long enough for this segment of the song. Marty knows. Sometimes you'll be listening to the same song over and over and over again. So M, which is, I marked it already, and then I am going to highlight where I want to cut it with the. So there's my B, my blade. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to go over to here. I'm going to use my markers right here, which is this little marker right here and this little marker right here. I'm going to see if I have enough footy in there that will actually render a nice clip because I'm only going to use 2 measures of the song. And right here is 2 measures of the song. So I'll go right here, that. I'm not going to use it all. I'm going to probably have to trim the fat on this one. So, delete it. Remember, anything is attached to it. That was attached to that clip, so I need to move it away. I'm going to delete this. There you go. Just gonna slide down here. And I still have too much. Probably trim the fat on the butt. M. E, click, A, highlight, D, delete. Bam. Now let's see how this first segment of this video looks. Okay, pretty good so far. It is it's changing on the clip, but it's very dynamic. And then when it goes to the next clip is just kind of the rest of the same. So it's not really that interesting. We're going to get to this part here in a minute. And just make sure you're not deleting anything that's potentially really good. So I'm going to, again, mark it. Arrow to select it, click it, select it, and then delete it. And then away it goes. Off. All right, so now let's check it out. And I'm going to go all the way. I'm going to start right here. Okay, fades in. We know that part's good. We know the clip's good. We'll just go to the clip. Go to where the transitions are. You don't need to spend all this time watching the video over and over again. You're just now, if you know this clip is good, Now you're just trying to adjust when it fades in, or quote unquote fades in or fades out of the audio, or transitions during the audio. That's all you're trying to do. Looks good there. See how it sounds here and looks. See? Boom.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you do that people don't really notice.
No.
Unless it's, not done.
Or you're an editor.
Yeah.
Unless you're an editor and you already do this. And believe me, there's a ton of editors. They're way better than me. I'm just showing you what I do.
What's cool about this industry is a lot of people would have never, ever got into this kind of stuff.
I would have never
gotten
gotten
into it. If it wasn't for MPV flying.
Yeah, I never would have gotten into this. I never would have.
Yeah.
I dabbled in a little bit of stock motion photography when back in 2000 or whatever. It was just because we had Sony cams were coming out, the digital cameras. So I messed with all those features, and I liked photography, but I wasn't into videography or video editing at all. So other than just that stock footage stuff, you're right. I think without FPV, I wouldn't have done it. And I've learned a lot, man. I mean, it's cool. I think it's a whole nother art form.
Yeah.
And I did like photography, and I definitely like making FPV videos. So speaking on this clip right here, so the music also what I find and learn is it will dictate the transition sometimes, a lot of times. And this is a very hard change. I mean, in the song will, if it that change, it's a little harsh, a little hard change in the music, right? It's a beat, opposed to a fade or a smooth transition to some other instrument. I could go ahead and use a hard cut like that, no transition. I mean, in other words, the transition is just real abrupt. Or I can again use a cross dissolve. It's clouds and kind of supposed to be majestic. So now the footage helps lend itself to the song, meaning it looks better than without it, I think. Without it, it's very abrupt. It creates a harsher image, a feeling. You get if that makes sense. Does that make sense, Marty? Like, the transitions and everything really will create the feeling of what you get from watching the video.
Yeah, there's some cheesy ones people need to stay away
from. Well, I mean, we tried it yesterday, so I threw it here's a prime example. So let me get rid of that one. Control-Z will allow you to step back, redo, undo whatever you did. Let's use this transition right here. So we liked how it was in the beginning. All nice and pretty, cool, awesome, cross dissolve. Then we go here to the end of the clip, and then arrows. The cross dissolve was like a cross dissolve with arrows. Looks stupid. Ooh. So again, let the video and the music and everything kind of start telling you what it does. It's all organic, kind of, is what I want to say. Okay, looks really good. I like that. All right, so that thing applies to the same. So you can go through this on and on and on and on. But the main thing I wanted to show you today was the bins and how you can mark your clips real quick. Skipping a step of what I call trimming the fat. Or you can just drop it on your timeline and trim the fat that way. But remember, you have to use your markers. And remember always, get one clip on the timeline and get that audio file down there for sure first and mark it. Overlays. So you'll see that all the time. And a lot of us guys and gals that have logos or have companies that they're sponsored by will throw their logos on their vids. Do it all the time. A lot of times it's part of our contract. Sometimes we just want to look cool and show you our logo because we're proud of it. Correct, Marty?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the way I have it is the guy, Sosa FPV, made my logos years ago. I still use them. They're great. And he sent them in 3 ways. So I have one that says no shadow, one that's an overlay, literally, which is my bug. And then there's another final version of my PNG file. It's a little more polished, if you will. I don't know how to describe it. Just better, kind of. You can even see the file size a little bit bigger. So you did more editing on that one. For this one, I use, for one of my overlays right here is my bug. And there's a simple way of doing it. It's just stick it on top of your video file. However your software is going to tell you. Some are on top. Some video editing software makes you put it underneath. Whatever. And then you just grab the image, your logo, and then I stretch it across my timeline. Remember, no more than 2.5 minutes. Right here, and use the music as your buffer, as your setting your governor. That's the word. And there you go. Now I have my bug in this whole video. But I don't like my bug to be that big. So what I like to do is transform it or change it. And there's multiple ways you can do that. One way is you can hit the transform button right here. And you can actually reduce its size by grabbing a corner and then just squeezing and pinching it in. That's normally how I do it because it's just easier that way. Some people will tell you can go over here literally in this section, Final Cut Pro, and start screwing around with, you know, the X position, the Y, the rotation, and all that. You can do that. The scale, you can do all that. But if you want to get it just cut and dry, just go in a transform, grab, and bring it in, pinch it in. And then same thing as before, how I talked about opacity, which is just making it like you're looking through a tissue paper. It just thins it out. And I like mine to be a little more subtle. I don't like to be really strong. Usually it's around 25%, somewhere around there. And that's it. And there you go. And that's how I do it. And you can do that, just duplicate what I just did right there. But then I could stick, you know, like my other sponsors. I could put Right Wings logo up here and just do the same thing. Drop the image right on top of this one right here in this area. Stretch it all the way across. Resize it. Boom. There you go. So that's literally the workflow. There is a quick way of doing this that I've done in some videos, which is actually I'll show you. It's a little more technical, but I can't. It's not on there. I got to plug my library in. So we'll save that for another one. Maybe some ultra hot keys. If you've got multiple videos that you've ran before, so you're probably in depth into editing. One thing that I found is I will grab, like after I've done this part right here, which is my overlays with my sponsors and my logos and whatnot. What I've done in the past in Final Cut Pro you can do is I'll stretch this like this and highlight all my images in with the ones with the logos, with all the transitions and the fades in and out, and copy it. Hit Command C and copy all that, and then I'll drag it over to the whatever one I'm really editing, like this one right here, and then just paste it, and it will drop it just right there. You have to trim it up a little bit and refine the timing a little bit, but it saves a lot of time, opposed to have to layer overlays every single video. But then there you go. Once you do that, you have this. And then you see my video, my logo, my little bug just kind of popped up. It didn't like fade in or anything. I don't like that either. So what I like to do usually is I'll take my overlay and I'll scooch it over here to the next measure. And there it goes, it pops up. But I don't like it to be harsh like that. I want to keep the same flow and feeling. I'm going to put a cross dissolve on the entire clip. See how it highlights like this? That means it's going to put it on the front end and the back end. It's going to save you a step. So I grab cross dissolve right here, drag it over here, drop it on the clip, and it does it on the front end, and it will do it on the back. There it is right there. So it saves you a step. Again, this is why I like Final Cut Pro. These little things really add up if you really start getting into editing. It saves time. Now let's take a look at it. In editing, you're going to repeat the song over and over and over and over again. And it kind of fades in a little bit. Nice. Good change in image. We are going to run into a problem, which is it's not going to end in time. See, change doesn't feel natural. All right, so they're going to leave it like that. That's really all I wanted to go over on this one, which were the overlays, the intro, the way I literally do it on my video that I'm making. And there you go. That's part 2, I think. Yeah, sound good? Marty?
Oh, yeah. I guess part 3 would be copy, paste, and color grading.
Oh, no, that was the one last tip. Sorry, this is one last tip. This is a big thing. So say you've gone down here and you've done this method right here up to here where you've gone up to the bin and you've marked all your clips and then you've dragged them and dropped them down. What I talked about yesterday is if you do this method right here that I just showed you with grabbing the clips in the bins, what's one negative to it is you cannot color adjust, at least in this version right now. I can't color adjust that whole clip. Probably could, maybe you guys know, but I can't do my color changes up here. I got to drag them and drop them down my timeline. So that's kind of why you just drag it down here, adjust the entire clip's color, and then cut it. Because now what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to grab one clip. If you do it this way, the way we did today, you're going to have to grab one of the clips, adjust the colors, which I've already done on this one right here. And then I'm going to have to go up to copy. You want to copy this clip. And then you want to highlight the rest of the clips from that footage. So that's going to be, it says 18, I think is the name of this footage, was the file number. So make sure I grab all of 18. It's okay if you grab the logo, I think. I'm going to highlight them all. Oh, it's just, okay, there we go. So I'm going to highlight them all, including the one that I already copied. And then you're going to, this is the big thing. Edit, paste attributes. Again, edit, paste attributes. And what you're going to do is you're going to paste the color. That's all you're going to, that's it. Not transform, nothing else. You're going to copy, paste attributes, and I believe you can do it in Adobe the same way, and then paste it. And bam, you're done. It's not going to do it to my logo. It's not going to do it to my overlays or my transitions. But what it is going to do, well, let me make sure. Maybe it did. It might have messed with it. It probably did a little bit. Adjust that real quick. Expect the neutral. And globally back to 0. If this stuff's off a little bit, that's okay. But what it did do is it all the adjustments I made on that one clip, because this is the same file I'm recording, I go ahead and just paste that attribute to all the other snippets of said file, and they will all have that now color change. So that's how you get around that. It saves a lot, because in the past I used to literally go through here in each and every one of these clips and go and color change every single one of them, and it sucked. Oh my god, it took forever. And now the clips will all match color-wise, and if you have to go in and tweak each one individually, that's, okay, I get it. You might have to, but for the most part, you shouldn't. Unless the light really changes, unless you've gone a different direction from the sun, then it will. But they all look really good, and this is, these are all the clips. Problem I'm running into in this particular video edit, why it might not make it to the final, is that the recording is all screwed up. It's all fast. See how it's bobbling and everything? That's twice as fast, if not 3 times as fast. And the problem I run into is if I try to reduce the speed, which you can take any of these clips, and you can go up here and go to Modify, and hit Retime, and then you can adjust its speed. You can judge it, 50% of what its normal speed is, or you can custom it and make it as fast and slow as you want, yada, yada, yada. But I don't need that, so. What happens is if I try to slow this down, the one that's triple sped up, then because the frame rate's so low to begin with, I can't do that. It just becomes choppy. It's like clip. It's like a picture and a picture and a picture. It's like a still image after one after the other, real chopped up. So it won't work. But I'll figure out how to wrap it up, because I want to be able to show you how a final product works. And maybe I just grab one of my old ones. Maybe that'll be the way to do it. Probably. Who knows? I also want to show you how to do the endings. And if you have any questions, we'll answer those next time around. I think that's it. Yay? I'll put play. Let's see one more time. Yeah, I think that works. Oh, you remember your audio. See, there's my levels. -6. That's where I want to be. There we go. Actually, lower that down. All right, I guess that was pretty cool. What says you, Marty? We'll kind of fade out with that music.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't too bad.
Good song.
So hopefully somebody will get something out of this. We hope, right? Let me see what they're saying in Chatty Cathy before we go. Oh my God, already did Loco. Let's see. Hold on. Final Cut Pro, you can select all the clips in your bin and hit Control- like 8 times, and all the clips will be 8 decibels. Beautiful thing. I got you. We don't see anything. Please, God, don't color grade DVR footage. Already did, Loco. Oh my God, laughing my ass off. One takes are magical, Marty. Anyways, I don't care. Everybody says don't color grade. I don't know what they're talking about. My whole thing is, if it looks good, do it. It doesn't matter. There's no rule that says you can't.
Well, it's like when you learn how you learned it. It's what made you remember, hey, this was easy this way. So it's not quite like everybody's way, right?
No, it's my way.
It's your way.
It's my way.
And there's probably some, well, I doubt it, but there might be some little tweak you might learn from somebody down the road. I doubt it, but because.
What do you mean? No, I'm always learning stuff. I get hung up on what I'm saying is, people will say, don't, like right there, Logan said, don't color grade DVR footage. Why the fuck not? Who cares? As long as it looks better than what the DVR footage originally looked like, who gives a shit? It looks better. The thing is, I'm trying to give a story. I'm not trying to, fall in line to the, soothsayers of how the fuck you're supposed to edit videos. Fuck yourselves. I love you, though, but screw off. Who gives a shit? I mean, there's people who do high contrasty videos on purpose because that's just the way they like to do them, because that's their art. It's art, for Christ's sake. I mean, who cares? So that's how I do my workflow. More often than not, what you did see with like that DVR color grading, I do that color change and adjustment with my GoPro footage. Always. I always adjust my color based on how it recorded. Sometimes the GoPro, those Session 5s just don't really record a great quality image. It's like flat. It's like everything's subdued. And you got to hit that saturation and contrast to make it more colorful and beautiful, and more to stand out better. Otherwise, I mean, I could just play back my original Colorado footage, no color edit, and it's just kind of, it's just missing that rich coolness. So
I got one for you.
I got one for you too.
Go to your YouTube channel. Post up the very first edit you ever did.
The very first edit I ever did?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Hold on. Oh god. Yeah, bear with me.
And what were you editing with back then? Final Cut?
I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to go dig, man. My first
free.
one. Shit.
What was it? iMovie? Was it even out then?
Now you're talking about drone, because before that I was doing metal detecting.
Yeah.
I gotta dig way back. Let's find. It's probably gonna be like a Gowie when I started actually doing.
Show them the Gowie from what?
Oh Lord.
2010.
I think I got some from. No, these are probably when I started doing video edits. It was like 2011 or 12. For a while there, all I did was fly. Like, that's all I wanted to do was fly. I didn't even think about recording.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta dig for it. I'm still digging. I got lots of videos. I got lots of damn videos. I look back, it's just like a timeline. It's just crazy what I'm getting at. Is why isn't it going all the way back? So does YouTube not carry all of our videos from way back when, or what's the deal? Martin, do you know?
No, I don't know.
I don't know either. Well, shit on the stick. This is not good. I can't see all my vids. Let me see if I can on my phone. Bear with me, kids, as I sit here and try to find that information. It's a good question, though, Marty. What was my first one? What was my first video back then of drones? I think it's like, you want a full-on edit or just anything?
No, just a comparison video of how you do it now versus how you did it in the beginning.
Yeah, let's go check it out. I'm digging way back. I'm going to have to share this link, and then I'll be able to pop it up. It's whatever YouTube, or not YouTube, but on the Mac, I can't only go so back. I think it only do the same thing here. Maybe they stopped letting us go back all the way. Yeah, because I can only go back to my vlog number 11, While in Vegas Part 2. That's as far back as I can go on my phone. And there's like a shit ton. Huh. Anybody know that in YouTube land or Facebook land? Anywhere land. Interwebs. That's what I meant to say. Why is it doing that? Because I mean, I have hundreds of videos, right, Marty? I'm asking you because I don't know.
200 plus.
Well, I wonder why I can't see them all. Let me see if I could go to crap. Same thing. I can only on here. I can only go to vlog part 11. I guess we can show that too. I don't care. This is an edit, right? These are edits. That's an edit. It's a long edit. It's days of editing. Days. Speeding clips up, slowing clips down, positioning cameras, looking like a dork. That's when you tape the damn eyelashes on my face. Remember that? You probably don't remember that.
Oh my God. There was one that we didn't do.
Which one didn't we do?
I remember that.
Yeah. That was a way back one, man.
Yeah.
I can't go back any farther, dude. I've got like some stuff that is really special to me in there.
Yeah, the one where
Of
you were
me and my
gonna-
brother's metal detecting, man. That's like really special to me. I hope they didn't get rid of that.
Yeah.
I don't have that anymore.
Yeah, the one where you were going to throw a bunch of wings in a wheelbarrow and go out by the main road and put a sign up, "We'll fly for food."
We'll fly for food.
Yeah.
Yeah, we never did do that one.
No.
We never did. We never did that one. It was gonna be funny. I don't know what it is, man. I don't know why I can't. I literally can only go to Vegas Part 2, and that's it. I can't go back. With one me and Turtle. Happy Star Wars Day. Shit, I don't even have my original. Damn. I hope I didn't lose everything. Anybody know the answer to that?
Where's the Gowie video?
It was in that. It was in there. It'll save all my like videos, but sure and shit, it won't show me all my other stuff. I'm gonna see if I maybe put it in a playlist. I doubt it because that stuff was so old. But there's my other stuff. I'm trying to look here and see if there's anything on here. Nope, that's literally that. So that's not it. I'm trying. That's not good. So I got all my other the ones that I liked. I don't know. I guess I don't have it, Marty. That sucks. That's gonna make me angry.
We just saw it a few months ago.
We did, but I go on either platform and it won't pull up. And I don't even remember what I fucking called it.
The virus got it.
The virus got it. Nice. All right, I think that's. We'll do it for another time because I do need to get going, and I know this made it too long. But anyways, I hope you guys are getting some info out of what we're doing here, and we're just trying to give you guys something to do. And I know a lot of you have footage that you're sitting on, Rue, and this will help you edit your videos, Rue. And you don't always have to rely on Ed, Rue. You can learn how to fish, Rue. Anyways, it's an inside joke. That you're hopefully, take how I edit videos and maybe you can apply it to how you edit yours. And again, I'm just teaching the basics. I'm not getting into in-depth. A lot of this is going to be your own flavor and spin, and you might get more dynamic into your edit, and that's great. Go for it. It gets really cool. You really can create a story. We have done that over the years. You've seen me and Marty. Marty's been in a ton of my videos, and we've done that. It's been fun. It gets very taxing, but it's fun. We'll probably do it again. So anyways, stay safe, guys. Remember, level heads, 2 weeks of food on hand all the time. Everything's going to work out. We're all going to get through this together. And during the meantime, we'll try to entertain you as often as we can. Okay? We all love you. Till next time, get you some. We're out. Right, Marty? Is that how it goes? That's it. Little applause. All right. Toodles and Brian. Smooches.